Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
10:01, we have rain and 36 degrees, scattered rain and maybe some snow mixed in throughout the morning, actually throughout the rest of the day. High today, 42. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Milwaukee police are out with the details of the department's latest satisfaction survey.
More than 1,000 residents were surveyed, and it said about a third of them are not very satisfied with or not at all satisfied with police. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel ran some of the numbers. Reckless driving remains a top concern, and about 33% of residents who were the victim of a crime said they did not report it. Why? Because they didn't think police could actually help, or because they didn't expect to be treated fairly. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
A man from Pewaukee missing in the Puerto Rican rainforest for 3 days has been found. Abdur Rahman was hiking with a group in El Yunque when he became separated from them on Sunday. His son-in-law, Fazal Hunzai, tells TMJ4 News Rahman was found in the jungle, hungry, but in otherwise good condition.
He's fully conscious. He's talking. He knows everything. We are so thankful to God and all those Puerto Rican people who did all the work, and he's doing wonderful right now.
El Yunque is a popular tourist spot, the only tropical rainforest overseen by the U.S. Forest Service. 2 hurt after an argument on a city bus in Madison leads to a crash into a restaurant last evening. Witnesses say a female passenger became upset when she learned the bus wasn't going to her desired location. She began pushing and shoving the driver before the bus crashed into Asian House near Milwaukee and Dempsey Streets. One passenger went to the hospital, a second treated on scene with minor injuries. The suspect left the area before officers arrived. No arrests have been made. Elon Musk set to take part in President Trump's first cabinet meeting later today. He'll provide an update on how all the cabinet secretaries are identifying waste and government fraud. The tech billionaire serving as a special government employee while running the Department of Government Efficiency. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his visit to Washington Friday is not a sure thing. Speaking in Kyiv today, said he wants security guarantees from the Trump administration to protect Ukraine from Russia before signing a deal to provide the U.S. with rare earth minerals. ABC's Patrick Revelle reports from Kyiv.
The number of $500 billion that was initially in this agreement, we understand from President Zelensky that's no longer there. And basically, President Zelensky presented this as a framework agreement, a preliminary agreement, and saying that there is no security guarantees for Ukraine in this agreement yet, but that he hopes that this will open the way to discussing a broader deal, not only with the U.S., but with other countries about potential security guarantees in the future.
Average price of a dozen eggs hit a record $4.95 last month, and the cost is likely to be higher when the February figure is released. Avian flu gets most of the blame.
When she visited East Texas this week, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins told farmers what they already knew about bird flu.
This is a significant challenge to the poultry industry.
In a Wall Street Journal opinion piece today, Rollins said her department is exploring the use of vaccines to reduce the need to destroy millions of birds when a single case of avian flu is found in a flock. But in the meantime, for consumers buying eggs,
it's possible that prices may continue to rise. Hopefully, we're in the worst of it.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 205. NASDAQ is up 232. The S&P 500 is up 50. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those. And huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan. 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Is your bathroom stuck in the 90s? Sick of looking at that pink and brass? Then it's time for an upgrade. Abbey Home can customize a new tub or shower conversion just for you. If you like the look of tile, but don't want the maintenance and issues that come with it, we're your perfect fit. We pull all the permits, take it down to the studs, and get you a whole new look in 2 days. Go to myabbeyhome.com to learn more. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months and get 20% off your project. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Rockets spoiled the Bucks' winning streak following a 197 victory from Toyota Center. Bucks host the Nuggets tomorrow night. Wisconsin basketball crushed Washington 88-62 from Kohl Center. 12th-ranked Badgers visit number 8 Michigan State Sunday afternoon. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding and a whole lot more. Number 22 Marquette blew out Providence 82-52. Golden Eagles visit Georgetown Saturday night. Milwaukee hosts Oakland tomorrow night. And the Brewers edged the Guardians 9-6 in spring training baseball from Goodyear. Milwaukee improves to 2-2 in exhibition play and will face the Dodgers and Diamondbacks in split squad action this afternoon. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We are looking at a crash now. It is blocking the 2 right lanes. I-94 east at the ramp from 25th Street, St. Paul Avenue. Again, 2 right lanes there blocked. There are some slowdowns in that area. Watch out also for a disabled vehicle on the ramp from Capitol Drive to I-41 US 45 North. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Scattered showers, maybe containing some snow. It's going to be a high of 42, and that wintry mix continues overnight into tomorrow. Overnight low 34. Isolated rain and snow showers tomorrow, high 43. Cloudy, windy, mild on Friday, high 53. Partly cloudy and 31 Saturday. Sunny and 34 on Sunday. 43 in Madison, 41 in Green Bay, 37 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Oricon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy Wednesday. Venture capital and business headlines on today's show. Let me just read you a quote from our guest who's going to join us in just a couple minutes. Venture capital has become the fuel behind many of today's largest and most impactful companies. Many of them are not only large employers driving economic growth, but also have resulted in generational wealth for founding members and investors. When venture capital becomes accessible to those who otherwise haven't had access, it acts as an equalizer, providing everyone with an opportunity to attain generational wealth. That's Dana Guthrie, founder and managing partner at Gateway Capital. Dana's our guest today. Venture capital, of course, invested in projects that typically have a little bit of an element of risk, new or expanding businesses. When it comes to the state of venture capital in the greater Milwaukee area, we can summarize. I think I can summarize it in kind of 3 key points, but I'm going to get Dana's thoughts too. But just quickly, First, it's underperformance. Metro Milwaukee is ranked last among 11 comparison metro areas in venture capital investment per capita since 2023. And you have some gender disparity. Yeah, I saw data from 2021 to 2023. Less than 20% of venture capital funding went to companies with at least one female founder, though the 6.8% for companies founded solely by women is higher than the national rate. That's 2.1%. So we're doing all right there. Finally, regional growth and collaboration and emerging initiatives and firms are reshaping this space and the opportunity to get investment in your startups, including a ton of venture and female-led firms like VC 414, that's led by Jennifer Abley, and former BMO Harris executive Rachel Furlanowitz, and, of course, our next guest, Gateway Capital. I'm excited to dive into all of it, and I'm always excited, as we do each and every morning, to begin the show, to go to Up.
Now it's time for the Two Up on the Upswing.
If you're listening in Wisconsin, it's kind of a rainy, hazy day out there. Maybe you're heading to Home Depot. How much does that regular Home Depot trip cost you? And do you always forget to buy something, or is that just me? But here's some data from Home Depot. Customer transactions rose by 7.6% in the quarter. The amount shoppers spent climbed slightly to, get this, $89.11 per average ticket, up from $88 the prior year. Home Depot also broke a 2-year slump in same-store sales during the fourth quarter as customer demand improved in a housing market that, of course, has been a little bit muted, right, by higher mortgage rates and a scarcity of homes for sale. But revenue on the Home Depot end climbed to $39.7 billion, up from $34.79 billion. Number 2, have you heard about the Friday event, February 28th, economic blackout? Nationwide boycott is set to take place on Friday. It's coming from an activist group that's attempting to orchestrate a 24-hour boycott of major retailers on Friday. The protest, organized by the People's Union USA, is pushback against some of the price hikes and rising living costs. Participants are encouraged to avoid major retailers, fast food, and credit cards during the blackout day, and to source essentials from local businesses. They want to send a message. To me, it's a bit of oversimplification. And I think things like this have limited direct impact, but you get a lot of traction on social media. But its long-term effectiveness, really remains to be seen. The organizers hope that they'll get targeted, specific action on consumer behavior. Personally, I say align your investments with your values and support companies that prioritize what you care about, even if that's just making money. That's a better way, I think, to do boycotts. Coming up next, we're going to dive into the world of venture capital. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News each weekday from 11 to 1.
Bucks President Peter Feigin joins us live here in the studio right now.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty by listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
What you're seeing now is like the reality of, playing a season together, kind of, getting to know each other.
Powered by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. We'd love to have you with us.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Thanks for joining us. Dana Guthrie is the managing partner at Gateway Capital. Prior to her current role, Guthrie founded and managed Alchemy Angel Investors, an angel investment network focused on early-stage startup, a passionate Milwaukeean on so many levels. Dana, I appreciate you taking time to join us this morning.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Of course. So I wanted to dive in. I mentioned it a little bit in the opening, just to get your thoughts on how you would characterize the current state of like the greater Milwaukee startup ecosystem, if you will. Sure. And, first, let's go back a little bit. How'd you get into the space and just what excites you most each and every morning when you get up?
Yeah, so my background is not actually in financial services.
Right.
I have more of an engineering background. So I moved to Milwaukee actually to attend MSOE.
Okay, nice.
And then I worked 13 years at Johnson Controls. In the building efficiency space.
Okay.
Software development, went into product management down the line there. But my kind of voyage into VC came through entrepreneurship. So for many years, I freelance developed for entrepreneurs that were starting new things. I graduated shortly from college, shortly after the last financial recession.
Okay.
And so many of my friends who did not go to engineering school didn't get jobs when they graduated. And so what do you do at that point when you graduate? You start a new thing. Many of them ended up being software or technology-based companies, and I started just kind of helping out on the side outside of work. So.
And did you feel like having that corporate experience right out of school was instrumental in terms of making you who you are? And you learn so much from a process and organizational standpoint when you work for large companies.
Oh, yeah. In hindsight, yes. At the time, I felt like I was the only one going corporate, right? Everyone around me, I'm like, hang on, what are you guys doing? So in hindsight, yes, you learn a lot through that. I had so many opportunities within that organization to grow outside of just the technical expertise. So then I started to own a book of business and those sorts of things, which really grow your acumen in ways that translate really well into the startup community.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the startup community in the greater Milwaukee area, maybe southeastern Wisconsin. Sure. How would you characterize the current state right now?
Milwaukee has a history of entrepreneurship through its blood, primarily in industrial industries. If you can, consider things like Briggs and Stratton, Rockwell, the Harley Davidsons of the world. But I think so that's good, right? I think when we think about today's, startup ecosystem, is largely around software, data, AI. And from that angle, I would say that Milwaukee is probably nascent. And I mean that in a positive way, in that we have a lot of runway ahead of us. We have a lot of room to grow. And some of these kind of call it legacy or traditional industries are going through digital transformations that are perfect opportunity. Like a lot of things are coming together at the perfect time, in my opinion.
So markets our size, can play in any space. We don't have to have a population base or a certain capacity. I mean, it's not needed.
Frankly, the numbers around, startup success, even venture-backed startup success, whether you're in Silicon Valley or you're in Milwaukee or somewhere in the middle of the country, the numbers are the same. You're going to fail more times than you win.
Yeah.
But the idea is to, win big when you do.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about just the heart and soul of entrepreneurs, right? I mean, everyone kind of thinks, hey, I can make it happen on my own. I can dive in. I got an idea.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of work. It takes the right mindset. It takes the right people around you. It takes the right level of investment. What are those characteristics and experience that you look for when you make an investment in a company?
Yeah, so we try to bleed a couple of things. The first thing is, not every problem is a burning problem. Not every problem is worth solving.
Okay.
So I always challenge entrepreneurs to tell me, like, what is the quantifiable problem that you're trying to solve for whomever you see your clients to be? And that gets difficult. I always, this is kind of an exaggeration, but I always say, I hate snow. I cannot stand snow. I can't stand shoveling, getting rid of it, any of that. And we live in Wisconsin. Well, why is it that Dana doesn't have heated sidewalks and driveways to her?
I mean, it sounds like something government could solve, right? We need heated sidewalks. Done.
Affordability, right, from a personal perspective. Snow blowers, they work. They make it a little bit easier. It's probably not the perfect solution, but it's good enough, right? So just finding problems that are so burning that people are willing to pay to solve those problems. And I think that's niche. And then the second angle of that, and we try to find the intersection of these two things, is major societal problems, things that have impacted us for forever. And we're looking at, well, is there a different and a better way to think about that? Whether it's the growing unaffordability of healthcare and companies like TibaScript looking to solve that, the constant problem of employers and the workforce shortage. You have companies like The Way Out trying to solve for that, or even like a Sonoptima, which is another portfolio company of ours that's looking to drastically impact the patient experience for cancer patients. So
yeah, I love your thought around tackling real problems in the community and getting to the heart of that. I want to talk a little bit more about that when we come back and dive into some of your portfolio companies and see what they're doing each and every day to solve these real business challenges. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Debbie Loziga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Luxstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works. Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined in studio by Dana Guthrie from Gateway Capital. Dana, again, appreciate your time this morning. So you've mentioned, heard in some of your presentations that you're industry agnostic when it comes to companies that you invest in and look at. But as we were talking before the break, you're excited to tackle real problems in the community and address these through investment. Mm-hmm. How do you get to the heart of that with a business plan and personality, knowing that, wow, this is something worth investing in?
Yeah, it's a good question, especially at the stage in which we invest, because it's really early. So oftentimes there's no data to point to, right? You can't look at EBITDA and all these financial things that you typically look at. Mm-hmm. So it's largely team and their understanding of and expertise from a domain expertise within that industry, or even sometimes like lived experience. So, just asking questions of the entrepreneur to really get them to explain, again, what's that burning problem. And the only way that an entrepreneur can accurately and effectively answer that question is through lots of conversations with potential customers.
Yeah.
So while we, you may even see on our website, we invest in pre-revenue companies. When I meet with founders, I expect that you've talked to a lot of your own customers and, potential customers. And when you meet with Gateway, right, we're discussing what have you heard, how dire is the problem, and frankly, how does your solution solve it?
Yeah. So you have a couple portfolio companies that are looking to solve big challenges and create solutions. What about the manufacturing and AI space? What do you have there?
Yeah, it's cool because I believe that Milwaukee especially has, I always refer to it as kind of that right to win in the manufacturing space, manufacturing AI
machine
space.
Shop of the world, right?
Absolutely. So we've invested in a company called GoldGix. Okay. It's an AI intelligence platform that allows manufacturing operators to have better insights into things like yield and throughput for their manufacturing processes. What that does is it helps drive additional revenue, and in addition to identifying those things, it'll call out to you what are the 2 or 3 things that you can do to improve those processes, right? So making it very actionable and bringing it to the face of the operator. Mm-hmm. The difficulty in that is, one, we don't typically see degradation in manufacturing equipment until there's a failure.
Okay. Right? Yeah.
So how do you view historical performance and then be able to make predictions of future performance based on that?
So and having more data to make those informed decisions throughout the process is what operators want.
Absolutely. And it's the future, right? Like it's people are being asked to do more with less, more with less employees and that sort of thing. So we have to figure out a way to be more efficient with our time and our employees.
Yeah. And you have another company in the food business, Allergen Food brand that sells wholesale into food service and universities. Talk about a community challenge, healthy living for all of us, no matter where we're at.
Absolutely. You're referring to the Pink Bakery, yes. Which is probably it's a very unique company within our portfolio. It's probably the one company that is doesn't have that software technology backing to it, but it's a really interesting business model. She sells wholesale into food service and large universities. The complexity right now is chefs and people, food service individuals are being challenged with the growing number of individuals who are actually diagnosed with some sort of food allergy. And how do you provide safe but tasty offerings for for those constituents at a large scale, right? So the Pink Bakery allows for those folks to do that.
Those fun investments, the non-technology ones, where you can kind of, they're a little bit more
that one is
hands-on, right?
Yeah, that one's a cool one because it's a brand. You see it, right? Like it's more visible versus some of the B2B stuff is a little hidden and behind the scenes.
All right, quickly here, what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs and investors?
First just start, and then two, for me, my background, like no one would have guessed that I'd be in the venture capital space, but finding things that are transferable. I've done a really good job of that in my career to find ways in which I can transfer kind of core skill sets into other industries and being able to do that effectively.
Dive in and get started no matter where you're at. Danny Guthrie, Gateway Capital, WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News, local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the current deal for the U.S. to take possession of Ukraine's mineral deposits is only a framework and does not contain security guarantees. He says no peace deal will be possible without solid security guarantees for Ukraine. Another deadline for the Trump administration. Here's ABC's Peter Haralambous.
The Trump administration faces a midnight deadline to pay foreign aid groups nearly $2 billion after a federal judge determined that the president's effort to pause all foreign aid for 90 days broke the law. In a late-night filing, a State Department official urged the court to push that deadline, arguing that making thousands of payments to foreign aid groups would be impossible within 24 hours and suggesting it opens the door to fraud.
The president's first cabinet meeting this term just about to get underway today at the White House. And Pope Francis is spending his 13th day today in the hospital suffering from double pneumonia. He remains in critical condition. This is ABC News.
You're Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Suspect remains on the loose after police say a chase involving a stolen car in Shorewood ended on the banks of the Milwaukee River Tuesday. Driver sped off during an attempted traffic stop, crashed through a backyard in Milwaukee's River West neighborhood on Vienna Avenue, then landed in the river. Passenger arrested at the scene. Police have not released a description of the driver. A former substitute teacher at Kenosha's Bradford High School facing 17 counts of sexual misconduct for allegedly sending inappropriate messages to a teen student. 32-year-old Alex Pointer accused of sending sexual messages to a then 15-year-old male student last year. District says Pointer was not fired or terminated from his position, but instead resigned last April. He was also a substitute teacher at West Allis, West Milwaukee, and Nicollet Union High School. Lou Malnati's Pizzeria closes 3 of its 5 locations across Wisconsin, and with only the Brookfield and Fox Point locations staying open. The Chicago-based pizza chain expanded into Wisconsin in 2019, currently has restaurants open in Illinois, Arizona, and Indiana. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 114 points, 43,735. The Nasdaq up 213 at 19,240, and the S&P 500 up 42 at 5,997. Financial planning at every level: Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still working that crash I-94 east at the ramp from 25th Street, St. Paul Avenue. 2 right lanes are blocked due to the crash. Looks like there is a little bit of a backup there. Even when that gets cleared off, look for some residual slowing. I-94 east at the ramp from 25th Street, St. Paul Avenue. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. We've got a wintry mix possible today. Scattered rain and snow showers today, tonight, and tomorrow. High today 42, overnight low tonight 34. Isolated rain and snow showers then tomorrow with the high 43. Warm on Friday, cloudy, windy, mild with a high 53. Then we're back in the 30s for the weekend. Partly cloudy 31 Saturday, sunny and 34 on Sunday. 43 in Madison, 41 in Green Bay, and 37 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined in studio by senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, Rich Kirchen. So, Rich, I'm seeing that in your reporting that Generac executives are looking to capture a piece of the rapidly growing data center market. I wanted to get an update on the data centers in the area, latest on the sites in Port Washington, Mount Pleasant, and now Beaver Dam?
Yes, Beaver Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that I reported on last week. About 60 miles northwest of Milwaukee. So it's still in the southeast Wisconsin region, not in the corner of the southeast region down here. But just an example of data center developers are really scouring southeast Wisconsin for sites. I talked a couple weeks ago with Missy Hughes, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation secretary, about why Wisconsin, why now. There is a sales and use tax break.
Okay,
that
so there's
helps.
Incentives there.
There's that. There's some financial incentive. Then the two other things are there are enough flat kinds of surfaces where you can build a huge data center, and also there's access to power. And they're in the case of Beaver Dam, they're working with Wisconsin Power and Light, which is part of Alliant Energy in Madison. In the case of Port Washington and Mount Pleasant data center projects, they're working with We Energies and American Transmission. American Transmission also involved with the Beaver Dam project. So, and there just seems to be an insatiable appetite right now because of the anticipated demand for data center capacity from artificial intelligence.
Did Missy mention anything around climate and just the access to build in a climate that just we really don't have the hurricanes, the tornadoes, and the big weather events that some of the other states have?
Yeah, we did talk about that. So that's part of it, although I think I just saw someone's going to build a big data center. Yeah, they're still building them in Texas and places where they have hurricanes. The other weather thing here that you wouldn't think of if you didn't know a lot about data centers, which I didn't until about 9 months ago. It's cool here, and data centers require a lot of cooling. They have actually Johnson Controls has products, York brand chillers that data centers a huge market for those. But guess what? You don't have to run them as much or as hard in Wisconsin as you do in Arizona and Texas.
Yeah.
So that's yet another weather factor.
And what's the opportunity that Generac and other companies in the region are seizing here?
Yeah, well, everyone, if they're doing anything with data centers, they're mentioning it. In their press releases.
Let us have a part.
On their analyst calls. In Generac's case, they already make a backup standby generator for data centers, but for smaller data centers that are already out there. The big news that I reported yesterday is that they're going after the hyperscale data centers. So all these mega data centers like in Mount Pleasant with Microsoft, whoever is going into Port Washington, Beaver Dam. They're going up all over the country. Generac has a separate company that they own in Italy that's been selling these on the international market. But the news is a more powerful generator is going to be available for the U.S. market by the end of this year. So they see a huge growth opportunity.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we had some reporting around an area CEO that I thought had a really good analogy to describe what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. We'll tell you who it was, what it was. This is The Upswing, joined by Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. You are listening to WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 255368. This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
At the Milwaukee Auto Show, we have a vehicle for almost everything, and we certainly have a vehicle for your thing. The Auto Show has the largest selection of vehicles from different manufacturers all in one place. Baird Center, the 22nd through the 2nd. Buy tickets online, no added fees. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. That's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined by Rich Kirchen from the Milwaukee Business Journal. So, Rich, obviously all area companies are keeping tabs on what's going on in Washington, D.C. One CEO had a pretty good analogy, I thought, to describe what's happening in D.C. The CEO at Snap-on you recently had an opportunity to sit down with.
Yeah, Nick Pinchuk. They're based in Kenosha. They have a big plant in Milwaukee. Snap-on makes professional mechanics tools for auto mechanics. So, as Nick says, they have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in the auto mechanic world. Anyway, he actually made page one of the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago for a remark he made on their latest quarterly call, and he talked about President Trump's administration and just the flurry of news and activities every day. He said it's like being on Space Mountain at Disney World.
Wow.
You get in a car and you're in the dark, and the cars go left and right, and abrupt turns. You don't know where you're going. So I followed up with him and said, "You want to talk about that?" And we did talk at some length. And yeah, he said the biggest thing is just sort of the uncertainty, and I've heard that from so many CEOs in manufacturing around the area. It's just keeping up with what's happening, tariffs being the big thing, but a lot of different issues. He told me that they actually have a small team of employees who have a job of reporting to the C-suite every day what's going on in Washington and the Trump administration.
Yeah, and CEO at age 78 to be in Space Mountain, it's a dark rocket ship that's flying through, to be able to manage those headwinds, that's a good thing. I mean, Snap-on, I think he had annual revenue of more than $5 billion last year, too.
Yeah, they were sort of flat revenue, which is fine, as far as the economy went last year, especially for big ticket items, which is some of what they sell.
Yeah. Speaking of revenue, I wanted to look at Quad Graphics a bit. Obviously, the dynamics of commercial printing and revenue in that publishing sector continues to, decline more so than on the upswing, if you will.
Oh.
Do you get any print magazines in the Kirchen household still?
I think you asked me this ahead of time, so I had to think about it. I still get Motor Trend.
Right.
But I got to say, I'm disappointed because they switched from monthly to quarterly about a year ago. And so when it shows up now, it's like, oh yeah, I still get that. But that's it. My wife, she mostly buys magazines at the store.
Yeah, it's kind of that. I don't know. You're checking out and you see something that hits you, a headline or a photo. You're like, all right, I'm going to pick that up.
Yep.
We, for some reason, get Reader's Digest, and I'm not exactly sure how or why, but I believe it's printed by Quad Graphics locally here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Quad Graphics is one of the biggest, and it's a shrinking pie, commercial printers in the country and probably in the world. And Reader's Digest is they had announced not too long ago that they had signed a big contract, and they printed here in southeast Wisconsin. And in the past, they don't say typically anymore which magazines they publish.
Okay.
They have in the past done Hearst magazines like GQ and Sports Illustrated. So, I mean, traditionally they've done a lot, but that industry has shrunk so much. I mean, there are a lot of titles that don't even exist anymore, and the ones that do are printing fewer copies. So Quad Graphics is in the midst of a multi-year effort to diversify their business, and they've been focused much more on marketing and advertising services.
Yeah, becoming kind of a large-scale marketing advertising shop that can work on a myriad of different campaigns and with different partners, not just print.
And in-store advertising has become a significant part of their business. They do end caps and displays and videos for grocery stores and other retailers.
I do. A little side note. I do admire the creativity of Reader's Digest. For some reason, like they have made that trend. They tried digital, and they tried that same clickbaity type mantra in print. The headlines are really big, and they're doing some inspirational content. And obviously, they're targeting people that they think, ooh, you may subscribe because we're going to send this to you for free. Include something to subscribe within it. I haven't acted on it yet, but they keep sending it, so bring it on.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Share it with the family.
That's right. I share it with my mother-in-law down the street, too. She always enjoys it. All right, this is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ. When we come back, we're going to swing into golf season, a couple updates in the area, and then tell you briefly about return ships at Brady.
Warmer temps are on the way. It's time for the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ. Get all the tips, tricks, and best practices to improve your home with our trusted partners, including Kohler Services, Yutka Fence, and Ridgetop Exteriors. So be listening for all of our interviews coming up on the air. Plus, we'll post everything for you. You can listen anytime at WTMJ.com. It's the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase, only here on WTMJ.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. Your financing requests, they can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good, that's their vision, and they're always committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Abby Home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
Abbey Window. Interest rates are high, home values are up. Decided to stay in your home? Let's upgrade it with new windows and siding from Abbey Home. We can design fully customized new looks for your home with different profiles, styles, colors. The options are endless. Right now, get 20% off your entire project and qualify for the tax credits with our energy-efficient windows, doors, and siding. Go to myabbeyhome.com today. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Grab your to-do list and head to Fleet Farm for Project Days, happening now through the 26th. Carhartt fans get a free $20 gift card with every $100 worth of Carhartt gear. Good on your next Fleet Farm purchase. Sprout Sweet Mix for horses and livestock is just $8.99 a bag. And save $50 on a Milwaukee M18 Compact Brushless Drill Driver Kit, now only $149. And save big on Milwaukee tools during Milwaukee Deal Days, February 20th through the 26th at Fleet Farm.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined by Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Rich, golf season is upon us, and paper had a couple updates on one indoor, one outdoor golf innovation, if you will, in Oak Creek and Pewaukee. What's happening at the old Willow Run Golf Club in Pewaukee?
Yeah, well, that's not necessarily innovation. It's more like demolition.
Yeah, okay.
The golf course property there at Willow Run is going to be redeveloped, land by Label Development Company, 283 apartments, 160 single-family homes, and 42 single-family homes that'll be for rent, so it won't be owner-occupied.
Well, it's good to bring more housing to that area. I mean, that course has been there for a while, probably could use some upgrades, and to make it a holistic development that looks at some of the upgrades that are made just to the adjacent Ingleside Hotel there in Pewaukee, I think that, that corridor, if you will, on 94 is ripe for expansion. Another area that's growing quickly is Oak Creek, for sure. And we're seeing another indoor golf venture pop up there.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many months a year you golf, Jeff, but I would think at least, 6 or 7 months you're indoors.
Yes.
If you're in Wisconsin golfing. So it's an indoor golf bar in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue at the Rawson Avenue Business Center in Oak Creek. Golf Zone golf simulators and a full-service bar.
Very good.
Yeah.
Swing and sip in Oak Creek.
Swing and sip, yes.
I like to see the combination of the local and national change in the indoor golf space. And I think there's demand for that for sure. And hey, bring them on. I wanted to talk quickly here about returnships in Brady. You had a really good report about how Brady Corporation is looking to kind of bring back employees that have left the workforce, encourage them to get back into the workforce.
Yeah, Brady Corporation is on 65th and Good Hope in Milwaukee, and they have some other plants around the area. And they were looking at, in all companies that have engineers on their staff, manufacturers and others, struggle to, attract and retain engineering talent. So as they brainstormed on this, they got onto the idea of returnships, and there are certainly some other companies in the area. Eaton Corporation, most notably, has had a returnship program for a while. But the idea is they're not so much talking about retirees coming back, but people who are more mid-career, whether they took time off to take care of elderly parents or preschool kids, or maybe they left engineering to work in some other they became radio talk show hosts for a while and said, "Nah, I'm going
time to go back
to
the
a real job in engineering." They sort of rolled it out quietly. I mean, it was mentioned on their LinkedIn, and they told employees about it. And last week, when I checked in with them, they had about a dozen candidates. It's 3 months. It's like an internship. It's 3 months and fully paid internship again for mid-career professionals.
Creative recruitment strategies. I love to see it. Appreciate your time, always. Every other Wednesday, Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News.
Hey, Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast.